So you've been asked to cover a class for a synchronous day of learning. Hopefully this video helps you with the plans and navigating the technology. Remember, you can always reach out to me, Kimberly Wheeler, for support throughout the day. So step 1, reading the plans. Teachers will provide you with PowerPoint versions of their plans. There will be links embedded in the PowerPoint. So this is an example with my subplans. Now, right now, I'm presenting this as a presentation, which you don't need to do. When you open them, they will look just like this. And you can keep them like that for the day. And when you push the minimize button, it'll just go down to the bottom. I have a lot of things open, so hold on. So when you open them, they're down here in PowerPoint, the red P. And so here are the plans. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to go through them. You can also just scroll with your mouse or scroll down. So these are just a sample of subplans. I cannot guarantee that they will all look the same, but they should be similar. So what I included on the very first couple slides is things to know with information on there. I have links embedded. So for example, this says this link. The trick is, if you are looking at a PowerPoint and there is a link, it says it right here on the screen. You need to hold the control key on your keyboard and then click it. So for example, this is going to open up, hopefully, all of my class lists. Teachers may provide class lists in a different way, but this is mine. So again, my PowerPoint's at the bottom, so I'm going to go back to that red P, and here they are. So on these first couple slides, I have information about fire drills, students that are in the classroom. Here are some more embedded links. So they're underlined. Again, you would push Control and click. And if you are, which I will show you later, if you're sharing your screen, students would be able to see this. This is also a way that if you needed to copy a link and paste it in the chat box or somewhere else for students, you could do it that way. So again, I'm going to go back to the red P. Here I've included all different information. My schedule is here, and then I start with my lessons. Again, teachers may do this in different ways. I've linked my flip chart right into the PowerPoint. So if teachers have a PowerPoint, they might link it for you. And then that flip chart, which teachers will link flip charts. On my computer, it has me download it. So I'm going to push download. It comes up down here at the bottom, and it will open right on your computer. So here is mine. If you have a flip chart, just a couple reminders, this toolbar is how you navigate to different slides. You can use the pen tool to write different things. You can click on links, which I have this link embedded, which would play a video. Again, I'm going to explain later how you're going to share your screen so students can see what you are sharing. The teacher will also let you know what you should share with students. So that's just basically how the PowerPoint will work. If there's a PowerPoint slide that the teacher wants you to share, so maybe they want you to share the schedule for the day. If you want to make it full screen, you'll share your screen through Microsoft Teams, and then you can just push this button down here at the bottom that says slideshow, and it will make that slide big so that students can see it. When you're done making it big, I personally just push the escape key on my keyboard and it goes back to being small. That is how the PowerPoint should work with the subplans. Step 2 of your day is going to be big, navigating Microsoft Teams. You're going to be called into a Microsoft Teams meeting in the morning. You'll stay in that meeting throughout the day. So I'm going to show a video that explains the lobby, the chat, spotlighting yourself, sharing your screen, and removing students from the meeting. All right, so when you start your meeting, the very first thing that I want to show you is how to let students in from the lobby. So right now, I'm making sure that I'm on my participant screen on the side. So right now, I have a student waiting in the lobby. So to let her in, I just push the check mark. And now Miss Bland is a student in our class. Hi, Miss Bland.
Hi, Miss Wheeler.
Hi, I'm doing this for the support staff who's going to end up being coverage when we come back.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I needed a student in my lobby. So as I'm teaching, Miss Bland, you could mute her. So you just click her little microphone and you can mute Miss Bland. You can, what else can we do with you, Miss Bland? We can mute you. If you wanted to make her big so everyone could see her, you could spotlight her. So that makes her big for everybody. And if you want to remove her from your meeting, so Miss Bland, I'm going to remove you and you can be done. But thank you for your help. If you want to remove her, you push the 3 dots and remove from meeting. Thank you, Miss Bland. All right, so now we don't need a student in here just to navigate some things. So that was under participants. The other option you're going to need to use is the chat box. And in the chat box, you can add all kinds of things, and the students should be appropriate in the chat box. The other option of what you can do is you can post links. So for example, I know in one of my lessons, I say, post a link to Sora. So all I'm doing is opening Google, and the students can't see this. So if I go to Sora, whatever link it is that I want, I can copy the link and I can go back to Microsoft Teams and I can post that in the chat. And now the students, send it. Now the students have access to that link. So there may be a time when the teacher asks you to post a link in the chat, and there's how that would be done. So participants is how you would monitor your lobby and your students muting, unmuting, removing them from the meeting. And then the chat box is where you can post links or messages to the students. The other thing is I know I like to be spotlighted when I'm talking. So that means that the students on their Chromebooks, you're going to be big on their screen instead of just being a small dot, or even it's whoever's talking. So I always spotlight myself when I'm sharing. So you just go to your name, push the 3 dots and spotlight. So that's going to make it so they see you on their screen. So lobby, chat box, spotlighting. The other thing that's going to be really big is sharing your screen. So if the teacher asks you to share something on your screen with the students, you push the square with the arrow. I personally always include computer sound, so you just toggle that on. And I just share my desktop so that they can see whatever it is that's on your screen. So right now, the students are seeing the Sora app screen. If it was a flip chart that they asked you to share, anything that you click on that flip chart will now share on their screen. So this is my game board. If it's a video, when you click on the video, they will now see exactly what's on your screen.
Today you're going to use
what be a video or a model of showing them how something works. When you're done sharing your screen and you want to go back to them seeing you, I just click back on Teams and you just push the square with the X, and now it's back to just being you. You're spotlighted still, and you can tell you're spotlighted when you see this square with the little star in it. That means you're spotlighted. You're big for them to see. So just a review. And I don't have any students joining. So if you're under participants, which I am now, participants, you can let them in from the lobby by pushing the check mark. You can mute them by pushing the little 3 ellipses next to their name, and theirs will come up with a mute option. You can turn their microphone off. You also can click those 3 dots and go to remove from meeting. So if a student is being just totally out of control, or at the end of a lesson, if they're not leaving, you can remove them from the meeting. So that's under participants. The other thing you might use is under these, up at the top, these 3, this don't allow attendees to unmute. That makes it so they can't turn their microphones on and off. So that might be an option of something you want to do. Under the chat, this is where you're going to see the chat box where you can copy and paste links, also communicate with students. You want to keep an eye on that to make sure that they're being appropriate in the chat box. And then the only other option, or the only other thing that I think I shared, was spotlighting yourself. So clicking on the 3 dots, and I'm exiting right now so I can show you. Click on the 3 dots, spotlight me. So that makes you big. So on their Chromebooks, they can see you talking. To share your screen, you push the square with the arrow. I always include sound, and I personally always just share my desktop. So they are seeing what you're seeing. Again, if you're on a flip chart, they're seeing exactly what's on your screen. So if you click on anything that the teacher has on the flip chart, the student is seeing this. I think, and then to exit the sharing screen, you just push, I went back to Teams, and I click the square with the X. When you are done a meeting, which means you are done for the day is over, you don't just want to push leave, you want to push this drop down arrow and end the meeting. So I'm going to do that now. Hopefully this was helpful.